Okay, I'm going to do a video about singles that disappointed on albums that I otherwise mostly love, and this was inspired by James Griffith's video, which I've just watched actually, and I haven't changed my opinion on any of my choices, and actually at the end of the day none of our choices overlapped, even though I thought one of them was going to, because we talked about it before. But these are songs which for the most part I found disappointing, and in most cases I loved the album they were from, not in all cases, but I've got 12 songs to talk about, and we're going to take them in reverse order. And the first one is Part-Time Lover from Stevie Wonder, from his 1985 album In the Square Circle. I just found this quite an annoying single with a bit of a unhealthy message about, taking a part-time lover, which I don't really approve of, whatever. It just doesn't do much for me. I think Part-Time Love, Elton John did the same thing, but at least that was a better song. This one is quite annoying in my opinion, but unfortunately the album which it came from was not a great improvement on that track anyway, so I didn't really much like. I did buy the album, but I didn't really much like it. Number 11. This is quite controversial maybe, but when ELO released Discovery, I was on a high because I had got Out of the Blue the previous year, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best thing on earth, and I still think it's one of the best albums of all time. And then when they came out just with Discovery, I remember the radio played every track before it even came out so people could tape it. Don't know why they did that. Anyway, the first single from Discovery was Shine a Little Love, and it's a bit too disco-y for me. I mean, it's not a bad track, but it's a bit of a come down from Sweet Talking Woman, Wild West Hero, Mr. Blue Sky, and Turn to Stone, the 4 singles from Out of the Blue. It just seems to me it was catering towards the disco market, which a lot of people were doing in those days, and I don't slag him off completely. And it's not a bad track, it's just not great, and Jeff Lynne has never performed it live from what I can gather, or from what I've seen anyway. Number 10, For Those About to Rock, the title track from AC/DC. I think it was the second single from this follow-up to Back in Black, and the whole album was a bit of a come down, to be honest, and this track just epitomized the downfall of AC/DC. Like, they'd come from great heights. I mean, literally great heights, with Highway going all the way back to Let There Be Rock, Power Ridge, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and then this album. And this was just a meaningless, slow rocker with stupid words about "For those about to rock, we salute you." What the hell does that mean? I didn't like it, and the only track I like on the album really is Let's Get It Up. I quite like COD, but anyway. Number 9, Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night, 1987. Good album. I loved the fact that Fleetwood Mac were back, but this song, Little Lies, got played all over the radio, and it's quite a catchy Christine McVie number, but it did well in the charts. But it's just a little bit too commercial for my liking, and I don't much care for it, although I do like the fact that Christine, Stevie and Lindsay share the vocals in the chorus. That's about the best thing about it I can say. Number 8, this is an album which is from Bowie. It's his follow-up to Scary Monsters, and it's Let's Dance. And to be honest, I thought this was, oh dear, Bowie's gone downhill, he's gone commercial. He would get worse in the 80s, but this was the first step for me on a slippery slope. The single itself, Let's Dance, is not bad, but it was too commercial for me, and I didn't much like it. And the rest of the album, I didn't even bother buying the album. I still haven't got it to this day, and there's probably some Bowie fans out there who are going to have a problem with that. But anyway, number 7, we've got From Too Low for Zero from Elton John, which again is an album I bought, not at the time, I think I bought it more recently on vinyl, but there was a really annoying single called I'm Still Standing. Yeah, you know, God, I don't like it. I don't like it. And Elton was on drugs at the time, and he was like up there singing this stupid song, and I don't like it. Wake Up My Love, the opening track from Gone Troppo from George Harrison. I know you, Rich McCook and James Griffiths, you love it, but it didn't do anything for me. I thought it was a weak opening track and too commercial, too 80s. Whatever. Number 5, again, this is going to upset you, James, again, probably. Say, 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 the duet with Michael Jackson. I just thought it was very weak lyrically and not much of a song anyway. I mean, it did well. It got to number 2, which I was quite pleased about at the time. But I think he's done far better songs than this in his catalogue. And the words are particularly risible in my opinion. But anyway, the video's okay. It was expensively made, but it's a bit cringy in my opinion. Number 4, it's another Beatles-related track. It's Got My Mind Set on You from George Harrison, which again was a huge hit single. I think it got to number 1 in the US and number 2 in the UK. And it was an old Rudy Clark number, and just does nothing for me. I remember getting it home on the 12-inch and putting it on the turntable and hearing these big drums and thinking, oh God, this is not a George Harrison record that I like or I recognise. This is George gone commercial completely. Anyway, it succeeded because it was a huge single, and if you speak to some of my younger friends, they think this is a great track. So, horses for courses. Number 3, You Can Call Me Al from Graceland. I mean, the worst track on the album by far. And annoying sort of horn section, annoying lyrics about Mr. Beer Belly, and just a forgettable song, and I don't like it. Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, number 2. Huge hit single, but the opening riff annoyed me because it was so reminiscent of Jumping Jack Flash. I thought, what the hell is this? They're ripping off the Stones. And silly lyrics about, I know what the lyrics were about. They were taking the piss out of consumerism and all the rest of it. But lyrics about MTV and TVs and microwave ovens and etc. No interest to me at all. I'm sorry. I bought Brothers in Arms when it came out and I quite liked it, but God, didn't like that song. And I could have put Walk of Life in this list as well, but I've limited it to 1 song per artist. But that was another very annoying single for me. I'm sorry to sound so judgmental, but number 1, I'm going to say Super Trooper from ABBA, which I remember it came out, that album came out round about the time John Lennon was making his comeback. We were all excited about that, and then ABBA came out with this song called Super Trooper with these stupid lyrics about being a super trooper. I mean, really, their lyrics from ABBA had never been brilliant, but at least on occasion they could hit the heartstrings with some ballads about broken love and broken relationships. But here it was just a pointless lyric about a super trooper, and I hated the cover of that album. I didn't buy it for years. I think I did pick it up, and I think actually the album is actually pretty good because you've got Andante, and you've got Happy New Year, and you've got Soldiers and stuff. Which Soldiers on the Visitor, sorry, but you've got some great songs on the album. But I just hate the title track. I don't hate it, but I didn't like it at the time, and I don't much care for it now. So this was my top 12 songs which were released as singles, which didn't do anything for me from the albums from which they came from. And in a lot of cases I like the album, but not in all cases. But anyway, I don't expect you to agree, but thank you for watching. See you next time.